Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think today's going to be too long of a stream. A couple of things we're going to do. We're going to, of course, start, as we do every stream, looking at the conference standings, because these change all the time. Going to go over some stuff from last night. Yeah. And then we're going to look at the 2022 NBA draft and just see if a redraft were to happen today. I don't really... Redrafts are fun. I like doing redrafts. Redrafts in the middle of rookie seasons are... they're a little bit crazy, okay? I think they're a little bit much because, well, these guys' careers change at a moment's notice. So we'll look into that. We'll see how high he can go. How high can we take him? This is going to be a group. This is going to be a group project here. This is going to be a group project, okay? Yeah, we're going to talk some about last night. So here's an updated look at the standings. Outside of the Jazz losing, everything that could have gone wrong last night for the Mavericks did. They are now the 9 seed. Timberwolves win. We were kind of following that at the end of the game. Win at the buzzer. Or in the final seconds, I guess, against the Hawks. The Lakers beat the Suns. I watched that game following the stream. Anthony Davis, man. This is exactly what we've been talking about with him. When he wants to be, he's unstoppable nightmare. When he wants to be. When they go to him regularly. Redrafts are cool during the offseason. With so much going on in the season, so much more to talk about. Yeah, it is a little bit relevant, though, with how well he's been playing. It's not like I want to talk about the Dallas Mavericks in any other real capacity. But yeah, that was great. The Suns, is there a cause for concern there? Their defense has struggled mightily recently. Obviously Kevin Durant is out. They're gonna miss Mikal. They're gonna miss Mikal and Cam Johnson a little bit. But we'll see. Obviously not counting them out at all. Ayton wasn't playing last night either. But AD, man, just bullied the fuck out of Jock Landale. I've never seen anything like that. Well, I have, but still, that was crazy. And Book had a pretty good game too. But Chris Paul's out there. He's done. He's finito. Grizzlies, 2 games up now on the Kings for the 2 seed. And I believe they have that tiebreaker, don't they? So it looks like the Grizzlies are solidifying themselves as a 2 seed. With John Morant back in the mix. Kings still 5 games up on the Suns, so I think they're pretty much safe there. Clippers only half a game back of the Suns for the 4 seed. I mean, I've been saying it feels like this 4-5 seed is locked up, but actually, I don't know. The Warriors are only half a game behind the Clippers now. Warriors and Suns, round 1? Holy shit, sign me up for that. Still 8, 9, 10 games, somewhere around there for every team left in the league. A lot can change between now and the end of the season. But the Mavericks now find themselves a game and a half back of the Warriors. The Warriors also own that tiebreaker, so make that 2.5 games back. They find themselves 2 games back of the Clippers, who I believe the Mavericks have the tiebreaker in that matchup, actually. They find themselves a half game back of the Thunder. The Thunder have the tiebreaker in that matchup. So really a game and a half back of the Thunder. They find themselves half a game back of the Timberwolves, who also have the tiebreaker in that matchup. So really, they're a game and a half back. So it's brutal. Pacers only a game and a half back of a play-in spot. Wizards pretty much out of it entirely. 2.5 games back now. 4 straight losses. It's over for them. Here's something to keep an eye on. Today I rewatched the Heat this morning after I woke up. I rewatched the Heat and the Knicks game. The Heat are doing what us Mavs fans have been waiting for. This mythical late season run that this team goes on to get right before the playoffs. The Heat are kind of doing it now. Are tied with the Nets currently. They play the Nets, I believe, 2 more times before the end of the season. They play the Knicks. So they play the Knicks and the Nets. They play the Knicks and the Nets 3 times in their final, what is that? 8 games? And I believe the game against the Knicks are on the second night of a back-to-back. So there's a world in which the Heat are a 5 seed. That world exists. And we get a Heat Cavaliers matchup in round 1 and a Knicks Sixers matchup in round 1. Or a Knicks Celtics matchup in round 1. Which would be actually really interesting. So that's something to keep an eye on. It looks like the Heat might finally push themselves into this 6th spot that we've been waiting for forever. Raptors look pretty solidified in a play-in spot. Same with the Hawks. So, a lot going on. Cleveland, Brooklyn tonight. Big game. The Nets lose that game. They're in the play-in. New York, Orlando. The Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back. In Orlando, that's not an easy game. They need that game. OKC against the Clippers. Massive game. Huge game. And the Pelicans, who seemed like they were dead in the water, are now just a half game back of a play-in spot. Still 2 games back of the 6th seed. So, who knows what the hell's going on? All I know is I don't care about the Mavericks. That's the only thing I know what's going on. Who you root for today? I'm rooting for OKC. I really am. I want them to win. I love their team. I just think they deserve it. They're way more fun and entertaining, whereas the Mavericks are horrible and not fun. So, yeah. Should Luka and Kyrie just sit the rest of the season? I'm really not opposed. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I want to talk briefly about some stuff last night. The protest, which I hate. Okay. Obviously, the Mavericks, I don't know if anything's gone through with this, but Mark Cuban said that they were going to protest the game. Mark Cuban said it was the worst non-call in the history of the NBA. The history of basketball. The worst one. God. This team, man. It's so fucking embarrassing. And I tweeted out that shit was embarrassing. And people replied to me, they're like, dude, fuck. First and foremost, I want to say, I have blocked so many people on Twitter. If you disagree with something I say, cool. That's fine. I don't care. We're not doing the names and insulting. That's a block. I already hate Twitter enough as is. So I'm trying to find this video of this play in question. Because the Warriors broadcast makes it look much different, okay? To the point where I don't even think the refs fucked this up. Like, I actually don't think Oh my God. Hot take, Hardy's already better than Josh. That is a hot take. I mean, offensively, yeah, of course. Okay. Here is the Golden State Warriors feed, right? So, boom, out of bounds. Calls it off of, right? There's Luka about to bitch and cry to the ref. Okay, this is after he got thrown to the ground, though, so that one was fair. Obvious foul. Okay, he calls it off of the Warriors. And then says timeout. And you could hear off of Holiday. Wait, you could actually hear him say off of Holiday. Hold on. Listen closely.
It is off of Dallas.
Off Holiday. Looney starts complaining because he thinks the ref just changed the call. But what the ref is going to say is, no, I didn't change the call. I just called a timeout for the Mavericks.
Well, wait a minute.
And then he goes, oh, okay, cool. The Warriors are like, yeah, okay.
No, if you touch the ball
And now he's pointing this direction.
out of bounds, that's Warrior ball.
Warriors bench, they're happy, they're excited, like, yeah, good call, good
Correct.
call. Wood is now arguing the play.
59 Dubs will have it.
Nobody on the Warriors is arguing, everybody's smiling. Christian Wood is arguing the call because he knows the call is Warriors ball. So, is this the worst no call in the history of the NBA, as says Mark Cuban? No, it's not. And I've also seen people say, yeah, well, the refs had to make sure that the defense was set. They really don't have to do that. But keep in mind, man, this is the third quarter with 2 minutes left in the fucking game. This was a 2-point swing, a 4-point swing, you know? Like, let's just say that the refs let the defense get set up. They're not stopping them. What do you think they're doing? You think they're getting a stop? So really, nothing going on? Like, this is a big nothing? It's one of those unwritten rules, though, bro. Real refs don't let the entire team line up on the wrong side. So they got to stop everything they're doing. I just don't think this is that big of a deal. I really don't. And it's embarrassing that our owner, in the midst of this horrific season, is now adding fuel to the fire by going on and calling this the worst no call in the history of the NBA, and we're going to protest the game. Like, please, give me a fucking break. Please. Please, literally, please. Please break me off a piece of the team, give me part ownership, and let me call the shots. It's not the worst call, dude. It's nowhere near the worst call in NBA history. Like seriously, it's probably not even like top 10 this year. Okay, like we gotta move on from that. Like it's not even a worse no call than the fucking LeBron play earlier this year against the Celtics. Okay, it just isn't. That was egregious. That was in like the game was absolutely on the line. So you got to realize that the other officials were also unaware of the fact that it was Warriors ball. Okay, either way, I'm telling you, I don't care. This petition is not going to get won, or this protest is going nowhere. And I mean, it just really annoys me that we are making this big of a fucking fuss about this one play call. It just really does. I mean, if we were 15 games over 500, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. And then we had this, so this play was going around, the Steph Curry layup. So I just want to say this. I don't know what the Mavericks are doing defensively here. Like, I don't know what the game plan is. Okay? I don't know if Maxey is supposed to be playing him this aggressively. I don't know if he's expecting a switch from Luka. It doesn't look like it. It's a really good Gortat screen by Draymond, by the way. I don't know. I'm assuming it's like, hey, Josh, do not leave Klay Thompson. Like, whatever you do not leave Klay Thompson wide open in the corner. So I don't really know what the game plan is. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about any particular player. Obviously, Maxey playing Steph this high up. Like, Maxey's not terrible on an island against guards. But more often than not, Maxey's getting beat here in this scenario, right? Which leads me to think Luka probably needs to shift over here and just make life a little bit more difficult on Steph. That way it's not just an easy roll to the rim. But I don't know what their game plan is. But I want to point this out, okay? And I held my tongue all stream. I did. But I have to say something. Luka's body language was fucking trash last night. It just was. You'll notice Josh rotate and close out aggressively. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, right? Armchair Monday morning quarterback here. Maybe Josh leaves Klay, switches on to Steph, like here, and Maxey just rotates really hard to the corner. But I mean, that's just like, that's hardcore Monday morning quarterbacking. We don't really know. But I do agree, like Luka, like watching this play, obviously it feels like Luka probably should shade over harder than this. Because I mean, Kuminga knocks down a 3. You got to tip your cap, right? We're not giving up a wide open Steph layup, but again, that's a great Gortat screen by Draymond. Okay, but here's my beef, right? Crazier shit's happen. Let's say Steph blows this layup, right? Probably a 5% chance, but still a chance nonetheless. Would it have mattered? Draymond is boxed out Reggie entirely. Maxey's out of the play because of his contest. Who's getting this rebound? Jonathan Kuminga more than likely is grabbing that offensive rebound. Why? Because Luka had just given up mid-play, puts his arms up, not putting a body on his guy. Boom. And immediately starts yelling at the refs. It's got to change, man. It has to change. It's not changing between now and the end of the season, which is why I'm like just kind of holding my tongue on it. But it has to change. It has to get fixed, man. There is a ceiling on the team until then. There absolutely is. We can't, like, it's been hard to watch, man. It's the worst it's ever been. It's the worst it's ever been. And I've seen people say this, it just feels right. Like, Luka just looks like he just hates it out there. And look, before people say, well, yeah, wouldn't you hate it, Dwight Powell? I keep seeing this. Like, I was, I don't know if it was a Twitter thread or a Reddit thread or whatever about this specific play. Or maybe it was just Luka's body language in general. And people were blaming Dwight Powell. Like, yeah, but if you had Dwight Powell as your center, like, wouldn't you be upset too? It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, you're missing the point. But this shit's got to get fixed. It just does. I'm sorry to say, and I'm not asking for much, man. I'm not pinning the blame of this season on him at all. Okay, I'm not saying it's totally his fault. I'm just saying I'm just asking the bare minimum, really, for him to put effort. And you know what? You want to complain to the refs? Cool, do it. Everyone does it, right? But wait until after plays. Let's not do it in the middle of plays. Let's wait until the play's over. Let's wait until timeout. Go up to him and say, hey, a couple possessions ago, that no call, I got hit. You know, like, go back and look at it. But let's lock it the fuck in the middle of a game, okay? Please. It's really hard to watch. It's the easiest way to help the team. Yeah, exactly. And I've said this before, man. You are the de facto leader of the team as the best player. You may not want to be, I don't know Luka personally, but it wouldn't shock me if, just by everything we know about him, if he like didn't really want to be the vocal leader of the team, which I guess there's nothing really wrong with that. But as the best player in a sport that is very much heavily centered around the superstar, you are the captain of the team, and the team's going to go as you go. And complaining and crying in the middle of every fucking play, it's just terrible, man. I think Luka is tired and hurt and mad at losing. He gets tens of millions of dollars to play. He's still hurt and tired. I get that. I do get that. But, dude, it's the bare minimum we're asking about here. I'm not complaining about his play or missing shots, right? I mean, he didn't shoot well last night. But I still thought he played pretty well. And I didn't really complain about the shots either. He just got back from an injury. He's probably a little bit still banged up. Whatever. You're going to have rough shooting nights. I don't really care about that. But just putting forth effort every play, it's really not a hard ask. It's really not. It really isn't. That's all I have to say about last night's game. Well, here's another one right here, 58 minutes ago. I didn't even want to get into this. This just popped up on my timeline. Twitter coming through with the unbelievable quality. So this is a major problem of Luka's, and I don't know if this is a scheme thing. Like, I can't even blame Luka. I can't even directly blame Luka for this, even though it probably is his fault. But I don't know if their scheme is Luka just float into the paint every time. He does this so often, where he's like just in the paint for no reason, but doesn't contest. He's just in there. See? So he starts to help. And DiVincenzo wide open in the corner. See, okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Man, this fan base is ridiculous. Talking about body language, acting like we don't have a single player who can dribble the ball, play defense. This roster sucks, especially when Kyrie and Tomorrow Jr. are out. Dude, we're not asking him to score 80 points and win every game by himself. We're asking him to try. Okay? Do you understand? That is literally the only thing I'm asking. I really need the Luka stands to understand this. Whenever I'm not saying he has to score 80 points. If he doesn't, he fucking sucks. I'm saying, dude, just put forth some effort, okay? Wait until it's stoppage to cry to the refs, all right? That is literally the bare minimum, okay? And he's 24, year 5. It's time to figure it out on that end. It just is. I'm not even saying the Mavs lost last night because of Luka. They didn't. They lost because they can't get a rebound, okay? Same old story. That's not Luka's fault. Luka's our best rebounder. No, Luka's not the reason the season's like this, man. They literally cannot get rebounds or play defense. That's really it. Jay Williams says he's not intimidated by Stephen A. Smith. Why would anybody ask him that? Are you intimidated by Stephen A. Smith? Yeah, I'm petrified. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this street. What up, Peanut? Let's just... I feel like the reason why these Luka conversations within the fan base have gotten so toxic is because, well, there's a couple of batshit insane ones, right? But, for the most part, those guys are trolls or, you know, whatever. Like you can't base the majority's fan base's opinions on one singular person. And if you guys are on Mavs Twitter, you probably know who I'm talking about. But anyways, like nobody's saying trade Luka for the most part or anything like that. Okay. I feel like it's just the Luka stands, who I love. I love the European Luka fans. Listen, I have accepted that since, and have told people that since Luka got drafted. Having a megastar on your team, you're going to get fans of that player. Like, that's how it works, right? They'll move on to bigger and better things if Luka ever moves on, right? That's just how it goes, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. For the most part, I like them a lot. They've all been great. But sometimes these conversations can get crazy to where the point where, like, me just calling out, like, effort and body language stuff gets, like, misconstrued into me saying Luka is the reason our team sucks, which is just not even remotely close to the truth. Like, I think during the Pelicans game, I tweeted out that the front office is going to have a serious conversation with Luka about his body language, which they will. They're going to have that if this does not change, assuming they haven't had it already. But, like a bunch of Slovenian accounts just really took that and made it seem like I was saying that he's the main problem with the organization, which I've never fucking ever said, nor even really implied. It's a positive start to the stream. By the way, I feel better. My 1 day stomach bug, we're in the clear, thank God. Every time you have a stomach bug, you think it's never going to go away. Like yesterday I was there, I was like, this is my life now. Like this is just how my life's going to be. I'm never going to want to eat food again. We're Mavericks fans first, then Luka fans. No, there's a lot of Luka fans first, which again, I don't mind. I don't care. Like, that's fine. I wish Luka didn't fall into the hands of the Mavs because this incompetent franchise doesn't deserve Luka. I do agree, though. Hardy should be getting a very solid chunk of minutes to the closing games. So, someone said in chat yesterday that they thought that I hated Jaden Hardy. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this season has been so fucked. This season's been so fucked, man. Like, the discourse, everything. It's just terrible. It's horrible. Going over the 2022 draft right now on stream. How high does Jaden Hardy go in a redraft? So how do we want to do this? Now, I've sort of penciled in some names that I think Hardy is in competition with, okay? Get in here now. Let's discuss. Was Seawood's defense the reason we lost? Rebounding again. It's just that it's been the same problem, and it's not getting fixed, which is why Theo Pinson, God bless him, you know. I personally think it's fine to have like a cheerleader on your team. I don't think that there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. Tough loss last night, but those who think the season is over, stay where you at. We got to continue to take this thing one game at a time and control what we can control. I mean, that's what you want the players to think, to be fair. I do think the season is over, though. I think it's done. I mean, they'll make the play-in. I highly doubt they fall out of the play-in, but you never know, but I highly doubt it. And I don't know, maybe they win a game, but how do we feel about them against the Nuggets? How do we feel, the Grizzlies? Maybe. Seriously, if the Grizzlies are the 2 seed and you get that 7 spot in the play-in, okay, I could be talked into it. Or the Kings, yeah, I could be talked into it a little tiny bit, but ultimately, though, in terms of this team making a deep run, yeah, the season is over. It's just not possible. Historically, it's never happened. Ever. Or a team this horrible defensively and rebounding-wise makes like a legit run. You could be talked into it. I mean, I can't, like, Luka and Kyrie in a playoff series. But this is, I'm not so sure that's a good thing. Let's just say you play the Grizzlies in round 1. They collapse, because I think they are prone to doing that. They collapse. You win a 7-game series and then get fucked on by whoever you play in the next round. And you get fucked on by the Suns, right? Does this front office say, you know what? A full offseason of Kyrie and Luka, we're good. We're good. Let's run this shit back, man. Hardy develops. Josh Green develops a little bit. Maxi's healthy a full season. Let's run it back. They would have done some dumb shit like that. Is Miles Turner our version of the Drew Holiday trade? Miles Turner would be disgusting with this team. We like our guys. We really do. JaVale is going to be healthy for a full season. If they don't get a serious center in the offseason, expect the same thing next year. To be fair, that was the previous regime. That's true. I'll give Nico some credit. I will. Brunson walked. I can't put all the blame on him for that one. The center market in free agency, I believe, is Christian Wood. Brook Lopez is a free agent. There was another one. It's not great. The center free agency market's not great. It's going to have to be through trades. Which, by the way, I'm full-fledged. Fuck them picks. Let's go. And I don't think, Jakob Poeltl went for 1 first, I think you could get some legit center help. Yeah, Jakob's a free agent. That's right, but Raptors are keeping him. Okay, let's have a refresher course here on the 2022 NBA draft. Our boy, our prince, the prince who was promised, Jaden Hardy goes 37th overall. And immediately, I'm just looking around. Second round guys. There's not a soul in the second round I'm taking over Jaden Hardy, okay? So let's just get that. Guys behind him, none of these guys come even close, right? Most of these guys haven't even played a minute in the league. Ahead of him, I don't even know who the fuck that guy is. Max Christie, no chance. Jay Will's a good player, but no. But he's a big reason for the Thunder's recent success, but probably not. Christian Coloco's pretty solid. He's a good center. Caleb Houston, no. Nimhard's a good, solid player, but you also have to keep in mind, Nimhard's, I think, 22, maybe even 23. You got to factor in age when we're talking about, redrafts. Where was Mamu? There goes that man. Drafted Mamu. Was it Mamu, the last pick of the draft one year? Or something like that. He was, in the 50s. I don't know if that was, I think that was 2 years ago or whatever. And just based off of this season, like this grouping right here, you wouldn't take over. You wouldn't take over Jaden Hardy. Would you? Peyton Watson? I mean, barely seen him. Ty Washington? No. PBJ? He's had his moments, but no. Jovic? Barely seen him. Wendell Moore? Barely seen him. Blake Wesley? Yeah, Roddy's pretty nice. So anyways, what I did was I went through and I listed some names that I think have a legit case to go ahead of Jaden Hardy in the draft. And then we'll just sort of decide from there, where do we pencil Jaden Hardy in? Now, I just threw this together, man. Like, listen, the reality is a lot of these guys play on trash teams that I'm no longer watching, okay? So keep that in mind, right? Redrafts, rookie season are fucking stupid. But, I mean, what the hell else am I going to talk about, honestly? I mean, at this juncture. At this juncture. And here's something else you have to keep in mind. Jaden Hardy currently leads all rookies in points per 36 minutes, points per 100 possessions, whatever advanced metric you want to look at. Jaden Hardy is numero uno in those stats. Which is crazy with no playing time. Well, these are like per stats, so that factors that in. But yeah, though, that's true. Hardy easily top 15. So, it's interesting, right? Because there's some guys who I'm undoubtedly drafting ahead of Jaden Hardy for one reason or another. And let's just get to the list, okay? I'm gonna zoom way in here. So don't look too far into this. This isn't this is just names I jotted down. Don't pay too much attention to the order, okay? So in a 2022 redraft, we've seen the first 74 games of these guys' careers, right? For the most part. Paolo still goes number one. I feel like pretty comfortably. 20 years old, huge. Can create his own offense, 21 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, the 3-point shooting, all of that stuff. More than likely will improve, and if it does so, Paolo's like a legit superstar level talent. So no complaints there, right? To me, I'm a gigantic believer in J-Dub. So much so that, yeah, I would, even though there's guys with higher ceilings than him, I would probably take him second right now in a redraft. I think he's been the second best rookie, and I mean, you can make an argument. You could make an argument that he's been the best rookie. You can do it. But he is about to turn 22, so that's something against him. But I just I like his size, 6'5", 6'6". Defends really well. 21 points per game, shooting 44% from 3. I think this is since the All-Star break. These are per 36 stats, by the way. I like doing per 36 stats with rookies because some of these guys are getting like 10 minutes. And there's a lot of research that shows per 36 stats usually translate when guys get more minutes. So just something to keep an eye on. Usually if a guy's per 36 stats are crazy, it will translate if they get more minutes, as long as it's a decent sample size. But anyways, I'm a huge J-Dub stan. I don't think this is controversial, right? Chet. Can't forget about Chet. Hasn't played yet this season, but fits the mold of the modern day big guy in the NBA, right? Can shoot. Can do a bunch of different things defensively. Can create for himself offensively. Chet is a bust? We haven't even seen him play. Well, let me tell you right now. Chet's, like, in a redraft, Chet's going over Jaden Hardy easily, okay? Walker Kessler. Now, Walker Kessler will never be the scorer Jaden Hardy is, obviously. But defensively, Walker Kessler is a fucking monster, okay? Nearly 4 blocks per 36 minutes. Guy's absolutely crazy. Already a huge impactful player, which is really hard to do for a rookie. But Kessler's been a beast and is going to be a perennial all-defense guy for the entirety of his career. So, don't think it's that crazy to have him over Jaden. What do you guys think? You're a bust if you get a season-ending injury before the season starts? I think having Walker Kessler over Jaden Hardy makes sense. Benedict Mathurin. 21 points per game, 57% true shooting per 36. Has that dog in him. But you know, we're kind of reaching the territory. We're sort of reaching a territory where it's like, okay, maybe you can talk me into it. But Benedict Mathurin, though, his size, he's 6'5", still 20 years old. He's got that dog in him. He really does. I like Benedict Mathurin a bunch. And, again, don't really look at the order here. I don't. I just literally threw this together. Just like went with the names that would probably go over Jaden Hardy in a draft. Keegan Murray. Again, does Jaden Hardy maybe have a higher ceiling than Keegan Murray? Yes, maybe. Keegan's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 at the start of next season. But he is 40% from 3 as a rookie. He is an impactful player, a high impactful player on a winning team. A good defender, 6'8", moves well. Just a really, really strong role player already as a rookie. Again, I don't know what his ceiling necessarily is. But his floor is incredibly high. We've already seen that. Jaden Ivey. The shooting stuff with Jaden Ivey, especially recently, has been atrocious. But I'm a big believer in his. His athleticism is insane. His first step is insane. Once his jumpers consistently start falling, if they start falling, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a serious problem. I think his ceiling is notably higher than Jaden Hardy's too. He's got legit, I don't know if I'd say superstar, but like legit star level ceiling. Athleticism like that. He's got that dog in him too. And I like his game. Like I like some of the shots he takes, even though they don't go in. Don't forget the Kings could have had Hardy and Keegan. Okay, I think we're at a point now where I feel like the top 7 I'm comfortably taking over Hardy. Like, I love the kid, but let's just say the Mavericks have like these picks. I'm taking all of these guys. You're not taking Ivy over Jaden Hardy? I don't know if I agree, honestly. Keep in mind too, Jaden Ivey is like being asked to carry a team now. With Cade out and Boyan shut down, like he literally is their entire offense pretty much. Jeremy Sohan, since the All-Star break, his per 36 stats, 22.5 points per game on nearly 50% shooting, 10 boards a game, and 1.5 steals per game. On top of being a really strong defender. Jeremy Sohan is a fucking beast. I really cannot wait to see how this guy's career plays out. Only 19. Still a teenager. 6'8". has some offense to his game. Like, I like Jeremy Sohan's game a lot. In fact, just in the modern NBA, yeah, I feel like Jeremy Sohan over Hardy's not that crazy of a take. Now we're really reaching a point here where you're like, okay, is Hardy maybe a top 10 guy? I'm tired of everyone's name starts with a J. You have two Jalen Williams on the same exact team, the Jalen Rose effect. You have two Jadens, a Jeremy, another Jalen. Jalen Duren. Nearly 13 points per game. Nearly 13 points per game, again, per 36. Nearly 13 rebounds. Nearly a block and a half on 67% true shooting, while also is the youngest player in the entire NBA, Jalen Duren. I think this dude is I can't believe he's as young as he is. His body is just unbelievable. He's strong as shit. 19 years old. Will still be 19 at the start of next season, by the way. Will still be 19 at the start of next season. Keep that in mind. But I like Jalen Duren a lot. He's going to be a problem for quite some time. Mark Williams. A very slept on rookie season. His per 36 numbers are absolute bananas. Nearly 17 points, 13 rebounds, over 2 blocks, over a steal. He is 21, but a legit 7-footer. He's legitimately good. Mark Williams, Dookie. Even if Mark Williams has less production, he's a better prospect than Hardy. What about Tari Eason? He's having a very good year for the Houston Rockets. Fits the modern NBA like a glove. Feels like he's going to be, whether it's on Houston or somewhere else, like a very high impact role player for years to come on winning teams. That's the type of player he is. 16 points per game, 10 boards per 36. Tari's where you might be missing for me. Oh, I'm not. God, I don't even have Jaden Hardy on here. Like, we're just doing this experiment to see where do you slot in Jaden Hardy. 2 steals. 35% from deep. 6'8". Hard not to like Tari Eason's game in today's NBA. AJ Griffin, knockdown 3-point shooter, man. 37% from 3. He's in a horrible shooting slump as of late. A horrible shooting slump as of late. For a long time, he was leading rookies in 3-point shooting. Jabari Smith. Number 3 overall pick. Everyone thought he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. I bet money on it because it seemed like a sure thing. I just wanted to build my bankroll. Fucking idiot. God, I'm a dumbass. Yes, these are per 36 numbers. I'm not ready to give up on Jabari Smith at all. He's had some nice stretches as of late, actually. There are some numbers and some shooting stuff with him that are concerning, especially historically, when it's like, oh yeah, you know, rookies who shoot this amount never get better. But his rookie season's not been very good. But he's still 19 years old. Gonna turn 20 years old here soon. 6'11". You know, the shooting has not gotten there. That was like the thing. It's like, this guy's a knockdown shooter. Like, that's going to be one of the things that translates. It has not translated. The offensive creation is not there. It's a ways to go with him. You know, Jabari Smith has a ways to go. I think his body type and everything, you know, I'm not ready to give up on him at all. So we'll see. Malachi Branham. Okay, just don't worry about the fucking rankings here. Okay, Malachi Branham. I keep in mind I don't watch too many Spurs games, and maybe it's just because this guy always plays well whenever he plays the Mavericks for some reason. Actually, I know why, because everyone does. But I like this guy's game a lot. I just do. I don't know what I would compare it to. It feels kind of like almost Chris Middleton-y to me. Hardy's not on here. This is the thought experiment. Shaden Sharp, obviously Shaden Sharp goes higher. Just an insane athlete, struggling to find the floor because Chauncey Billups is a dumbass. But an uber athlete. Still incredibly young, still incredibly raw. Didn't he go a whole year without... Yeah, he went a whole year without playing basketball. There are moments where it's incredibly, incredibly good. Last night, Shaden Sharp, 24 points, 19 shots, 4 of 7 from deep. You have Christian Brown, who, again, struggling to find the floor, but is a really solid defender. Nuggets fans really want him to play more. Dyson Daniels, same exact thing as Christian Brown. Great defender, especially for a rookie. Struggling to find minutes. And that's pretty much where I cut it off. Like, who are we missing here? Johnny Davis, there's not even really an argument to be had. God bless the kid. Ousmane Dieng, I loved Ousmane Dieng heading into the season, and he's been out for a lot of the season, but he just recently came back. Getting some minutes. He's 6'9". I still like Ousmane Dieng. I'm still a believer in him. He was my sneaky rookie of the year pick, by the way. Ousmane Dieng was my sneaky rookie of the year pick. Only because I thought that it was just his I was trying to find guys who were out of the top 10 in odds. And he was my guy. But Ousmane Dieng been back in the lineup. Really, the whole month of March has been playing more. Would probably take Hardy over him, but he's 19, 6'9", crazy body type. There's something to consider. Abaji, he's just older, isn't he? Wasn't Abaji like a 3-year guy? It's not fair to do that to the older guys, but that's just the way it is. You know, Abaji is... Oh, Abaji's about to be 23 already. Yeah. Would definitely take Hardy over him in a heartbeat. Even though Abaji's had some nice games lately, but... Dalen Terry, how many minutes has he gotten all season? You remember the first Summer League game? It was the Mavericks versus the Bulls. Everyone's like, it's Hardy versus Dalen Terry. Oh. We're obviously taking Hardy over Terry at this point. Hey, look at that. Me and Dalen Terry share a birthday. Jake LaRavia, barely seen him. I would take Jaden Hardy over him, though. Roddy, we can't let what he's done to the Dallas Mavericks cloud our judgment here, okay? We cannot let what he has done to the Dallas Mavericks cloud our judgment when it comes to David Roddy. About to be 22 years old. Solid role guy, though. Solid player. But I think Hardy's ceiling is just much higher. Really sells me on Hardy's is his insane production despite getting 33 DNPs and hardly any playing time till recently. Yeah, that is incredibly impressive. Especially, too, on like a team that desperately needs to win games. It's not like I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at the game log. Oh my God, I'm looking at the game log for David Roddy. All right, here we go. Guys, here it is in March. Okay? March 1st against Houston, DNP. Right? March 3rd, Denver, 2 minutes, 0 points. March 5th, 8 points. March 7th, 5. March 9th, 6 points. March 11th, 24 points. Guess who he played? If you're guessing the Dallas Mavericks, ding, ding, ding. You're correct. Oh, 19 points. Whoa. Who's that again? The Dallas Mavericks? Oh, yep. Jesus. Hey, at least they held him to 4 points. Their last matchup. Last stream I asked what year do you think Luka wins a chip? You said 2025. So how about we just ask that for every star? Like next up, Giannis. What do you think he wins his next championship? 2022. I'm sorry, 2023. I think this is the Bucks year. Again. Marion Beauchamp. Nope. Although, guys, I'm really trying to get the Sixers out of my head. I'm really trying to get the Sixers out of my head. Wendell Moore Jr.? No. Not taking him over Hardy. Not even considering it, really. Blake Wesley? No. Jovic? No. PBJ? No. Ty? No. Peyton Watson? No. Nimhard? Good solid player, but Hardy's ceiling is just way higher. So that brings us back to this list here. Where are we sliding in the leader amongst rookies in scoring per 100 possessions per 36 minutes? Jaden Hardy. Where are we sliding him in? If this is just a very, very rough... And you know, Shane Sharp's athleticism is just so fucking crazy. We got to get him higher. We got to slide him in like... See, I agree the Shaden Sharp stuff is crazy, but these guys have all been good this year. And are equally as young. Maybe after Mark Williams. And then you'd have to slide Jabari Smith up too. So Paolo, Jalen Williams, Chet, Kessler, Bidmath, Keegan, Jaden Ivey. I'm taking those guys over Hardy. He goes over Eason in a redraft. Does he go over Sohan? Would Jeremy Sohan go first in a redraft? Go over Jaden Hardy in a redraft? If the GMs got to redo this draft today, is Sohan going higher than Jaden Hardy? I personally think yes. I think body type, the defense. Yeah, I agree. 100% he's going higher. Duren, the youngest player in the NBA. You know, you can make the argument, yeah, well, a shot creator, probably a little bit more valuable than a center. The Duren and Mark Williams grouping here. So wait, okay. KS says he likes Eason better than Hardy. So are you taking Eason in a redraft over Jaden Hardy? If this were I'm trying to win right now, I'm probably taking Eason. Hardy on a losing team would be top 5 rookie of the year candidate. I mean, you could say this about a lot of guys, truthfully. All right, Shaden Sharp over the bigs. Okay, fine. Shaden Sharp over Sohan. I'm going to say no. I like Sohan a lot. Sohan's top 5. Does bid math drop a little bit? See, Chet being hurt changes things, but I still think Chet's going top 3. Sohan has a 50% true shooting. I mean, don't look at a lot of these guys' true shooting numbers. Powell's got a 52% true shooting. I know he takes harder shots. I think I like Sohan a little bit more than Sharp. Are we cool? Are we cool with the rookie sitters? I mean, Mark Williams has been better than Duren, I think, but in a redraft, Duren's just younger. Like, do we think that this is about right? You got to remember too the whole like, oh, if he's on a bad team, it's stat padding. That whole argument, it's a lot different when every night you are the go-to guy on offense, and defenses know that as a young rookie. Whereas, you know, maybe like once or twice a month or something like that, like guys are out and you're the go-to guy, and then the rest of the time, you know, you're playing alongside Luka or Kyrie. It's a big difference. You see the Kings end up like the Vikings and be proved frauds in the playoffs? I just don't want to be mean to the Kings. And I also feel like, one, it just doesn't feel right being mean to the Kings. But also, two, I feel like the receipts, if the Kings are good, would be disgusting. You know? The West is just purely wide open. I mean, if there was a big-time legit contender, I would say, yeah, the Kings don't really have a chance against them. But there's not one. So, who knows? Where do you rank Hardy this redraft? That's what we're trying to figure out. So, Jalen Duren, Mark Williams. Is there anybody below these two that should be bumped ahead of them? I personally don't really. Well, okay. Hold on. Where does Jabari Smith go? Because 13th is incredibly low, but he really has not been good this season at all. And there's been some concerning stuff. Like, the guy that I'm drafting that's a surefire shooter, like his jump shot, that guy shooting 30% from 3 makes me feel bad, okay? It just does. But he is still 6'11", 6'10", 6'11", 19 years old. You know, defensively, I think he's going to be a good defender for a long time. And put him on a team that has a legit point guard, and maybe we're having a different conversation. And he's had some moments. 30 points against the Pacers. March 9th. 30 bomb. 20 points the next night. 24 the night after that. But then you'll have like this 8-point game here against the Pelicans on 2 of 10 shooting. You know, last night 16 points, but on 14 shots. Jabari Smith, you're really just like, let's just throw this fucking season out. Okay? We've got a 6'10 guy who theoretically can shoot the lights out of the basketball and is a good defender. Like, that's what we've got moving forward. Okay? Let's just throw the rookie season out. That's what you have to say with Jabari Smith. But what about, okay, so Jabari Smith or AJ Griffin? I actually feel like in a redraft, Jabari Smith's going ahead of AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin, good player. Dallas kid. .66, a good shooter. Jabari because of size. I agree. Him being 6'10", like, what about his teammate? What about Tari? I'm a big Tari Eason fan. I have no idea what to make of Jabari Smith, man, because it's not that it's been like not great. It's been really terrible at times. You know? It's not that it's just been like not great. And also everyone ahead of him, like Mark Williams, Jalen Duren, legitimately good centers already. Like they're already good centers. I mean, Mark Williams has been a fucking beast. Jalen Duren, the youngest player in the league, still has been a beast. Shaden Sharp, struggling to get minutes. No, don't really think that's his fault, but an insane athlete. Tari Eason. If Tari Eason was on like a super contending team, we're probably having a different conversation about him, assuming he plays. Same thing with Sohan too. Like if Sohan became like a legit role guy, like 25, 28 minute a night role guy for a contending team, we're having a different conversation about him. So Jabari is just bad. Straight up bad. People need to stop falling in love with tall players shooting. Maybe you're right, man. So Jabari Smith or AJ Griffin? I draw the line there. It's got to be Jabari Smith. I will put. I'll put the bigs over him. But I'm drawing the line at AJ Griffin. The issue with a lot of these players are not exactly smart players, but athletic players. Yeah, I kind of agree. Kind of crazy that right before the draft, yeah, dude, trust me, I know. Everyone was saying, yeah, Jabari's going number 1. I bet on it like a fucking idiot, even though the odds were terrible. I was like, I want to pick up my bankroll a little bit, right? Just have some money to throw around here. I'll just put some money on Jabari Smith winning or being selected first overall. And I got fucked and lost a lot of money. Kind of crazy that the Rockets could have had Paolo. Like, as a Rockets fan, you're hyping yourself up that whole process. We're going to get Paolo. We're going to get Paolo. Like, holy shit, we're going to get Paolo. Like, the best player in this draft. We're going to get him. And then you end up with Jabari Smith, who has really had a tough season. Okay, so now the question becomes Mr. Jaden Hardy, who compared to a lot of these guys, I mean, 39 games, that's way less than pretty much everybody on this list. I mean, that is less. If I had to guess, like, how many games has Shaden Sharp played? 71. Like, it's way less than anybody on this list. Besides Chet, obviously. Yeah, I remember how hard the Kings got clowned for taking Murray too. Here's the per 36 numbers for Jaden Hardy, okay? $22 points. Let's write this all down. Ignore the placement here for the time being. Jaden Hardy. 22 points per game, per 36. 57% true shooting. 8.1 3-point attempts per 36. A huge number. And he's shooting, we'll round up and say 40% from 3. Where'd you rank Austin Reeves on the Lakers? Well, he's not a rookie. So yeah, the lottery's top 14, right? He's definitely a lottery pick. I feel pretty comfortable in saying that. I'm kind of thinking 13 too. I'm sort of thinking 13. That's sort of where I'm at. Behind Jabari Smith, you're still sort of locked into the potential and the size. You know, because listen, the reality is Jaden Hardy's 6'4". I think that's being generous. What happened to 15? Oh, 15 was okay, 15 was Shaden Sharp. We moved him way up. So Eason's actually 12. Oh, okay. Eason's actually 12. Jabari's 13th. So Christian Coloco probably goes somewhere in here too, by the way. I would definitely take Hardy over him, though. See, okay, Hardy, he'll be 21 at the start of next season. So there's some guys that are, you know, like Jalen Duren's 2 full years younger than him. His defense is not good. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. His defense is straight up bad. Don't know. It's probably a rookie thing, truthfully. I feel like more than anything else, that's probably a rookie thing. Will he ever be a good defender? Probably not. No. No, Hardy was born in 2003. Oh, well then Basketball Reference is wrong. Basketball Reference and Google are wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Hardy was younger too, but he was 19 at the time of the draft. Offensively, though, and purely from a shot creation standpoint, I'll take Paolo over him just because Paolo's size. I'll take Jaden Hardy over Jalen Williams. Not really his game necessarily. Over Chet, over Kessler, obviously. Over Ben Math. Keegan Murray. Yeah, that's not really his game. Ivy's just so athletic, and that first step is just crazy. But Hardy's skill, though. Because Hardy, from an athletic standpoint, you know, it's not Jaden Ivey. He needs to get bigger. That way he's not getting, you know, that way he can finish through contact a little bit better. Challenge the big guys a little bit better. The finishing will improve from that because the finishing numbers aren't great, but they'll go up. I think a lot of these guys are just safer bets for NBA level role players. That's true. You really are banking on Hardy's ceiling being reached if you're taking him over, like, you know, a Sohan or a Keegan Murray. Or even like a Tari Eason, honestly, who's already a good role player and is going to be a great role player. Like, we already know that. See, this gets a little bit difficult, man. Celtics about to get Gallo back for the playoffs. Wait, really? How's Mike Muscala been? I feel like every time I watch, because I like Mike Muscala, an extension of me being a Thunder fan. I feel like he's been bad with the Celtics. Hardy reminds me of D-Fox a few years ago. D-Fox is way more athletic. Hardy is more of like a, you know, the Beal comparisons, because it's like a skill thing. Incredibly skilled. And if he bulks up, yeah, Clarkson too. So where are we landing with him? Like, what's the consensus? You know, I'm not going to lie to you. If a GM said, I don't have Malachi Branham, I can't say that would shock me. Although I wouldn't do it. 15th. So after AJ Griffin. As a scorer, you have to kind of either be that guy or not. He doesn't offer enough outside of that. That's not a bad. That's not bad. Hardy is our version of Jordan Clarkson. All right. What year was Jordan Clarkson drafted? '14 NBA draft. Let's look at that draft. Oh, that's that. Oh, okay. Well, this draft is pretty trash. Jordan Clarkson leads that draft class in games played, by the way. Where's Jordan Clarkson going into redraft here? Would you take... Oh, this is interesting. Would you take Clarkson over Wiggins? No. No chance, right? Jeremy Grant. No shot, right? Julius Randle, of course not. Jokic, obviously no. Gordon, no. Doug McDermott, yeah. Dwight Powell. Yeah, obviously. Marcus Smart, no, I'm taking Marcus Smart. Kyle Anderson, I'd probably take Jordan Clarkson, although it's not the easiest one. Especially because Jordan Clarkson, it took a while for him to get to where he's at. So, Kyle Anderson, a super, super strong role guy. Levine, obviously, we're taking Zach Levine. Taking Clint Capella. Obviously, we're taking Embiid. So even in this redraft, Clarkson's like, off the top of my head, at least in the 16 to 17 range. Would you rather have Spencer Dinwiddie or Jordan Clarkson? Clarkson? I think I'd rather have Spence. It's pretty close though. What about Nurkic? See, like, I'm a little bit biased because I can't stand Nurkic. I can't stand him. But I mean, so yeah, Clarkson's about 12, 13 in that redraft, maybe a little bit higher than or lower than that, but that's about what we're getting at to Hardy. Because like, who was it who said? If you're yeah, as Danny said, if you're like purely a scorer, you got to really bring it. Which there's nothing wrong with. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kyrie Irving are both questionable for tomorrow night's game against the Hornets. Oh god, that's right. Fucking we play tomorrow night. Jesus. Okay, but what about Jordan Poole? Somebody asked. I've seen that comparison too. Oh, Jordan Poole's a better athlete than Hardy. What year was the Poole draft? Was that, what, 2019? All right, 2019. This feels like a kind of a weak draft. All right, Jordan Poole. Would you rather have Jordan Poole or RJ Barrett? Jordan Poole or RJ Barrett? Wow. Great. That's a hilarious first one. The battle of the mid for sure. Man, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't know. Poole easy. I feel like it would probably have to depend on your team makeup, right? Jordan Poole's highs are way higher, so we'll give him that nod. Okay, we'll give him that. Grant Williams, Poole, right? Poole. PJ Washington, you could actually maybe have an interesting conversation. Darius Garland, obviously, you're taking Garland. Obviously, Ja. I'd take Hero over Poole. I'd probably take Keldon Johnson over Poole. Cam Johnson, I'd have to really consider it. This draft really wasn't that great. Poole's Zion, obviously, despite the fact that, my God, Romeo Langford has played more games. Chuma, Jarrett Culver. Jarrett Culver has quietly played 144 games. Romeo Langford, Chuma Okeke, Isaiah Roby, drafted by the Mavericks. Ty Jerome, who's now in Europe, I believe. Oh, wait, no. He's been in the NBA this year, hasn't he? Yeah. What was I? Who was I thinking of? Who does PJ Washington play for now? He plays for Charlotte still. Yeah, this draft is kind of stinky. You go Ja first overall, right? I mean, Zion just can't. You know what would be a fun stream? An NBA redraft every year for the past decade. Like, we just powered through 10. That would be a fun thing. Redrafts are fun. Yeah, I mean, look at this top 6. It was feast or famine, pretty much. Zion, Ja, Darius Garland, but then you also got RJ Barrett, DeAndre Hunter, Jarrett Culver. God bless him. Texas Tech alumnus. This draft kind of reeked. If you didn't get the top 2 picks or Darius Garland, you were kind of up against it. Refs should be held more accountable, just like us. They shouldn't get a we missed it passes. Trae Young. You take Zion or Garland? Ooh, now you're getting spicy. Now you're getting spicy. I mean, Zion's clearly better, but he's played in a quarter of his games. See, okay, so let's go back to that draft. I'm taking Darius Garland, okay? And only because Darius Garland's an all-star, so I know I'm getting that, right? Like, yeah, Zion is a top 10 player when he's on the floor, but he's hardly ever on the floor. Whereas Garland is on the floor, he plays, and when he plays, he's an all-star level player. Now, if the question was like, would you rather have Zion or who's like a good, solid player? Well, this draft isn't really the best example here. Zion or like a... There's really not a good example on this one. You guys get what I'm saying, though. If it was Zion or like a solid role player who plays all the time, I'd take my chances on Zion and just pray to God he plays. It's like, yeah, Zion or Claxton. Like, yeah, I'm taking Zion and just hope he plays. But Garland, well, at least I know he's a point guard. At least I know he's a top 5 player. Or Garland, at least I know he's an all-star level player when he plays. All right, so what are we deciding here? That was a bit of an eye-opener, too, because if he does become like a Jordan Clarkson, even Clarkson was like 14th or 15th in his redraft. You always think guys are going to go way higher in redrafts until you actually map it out. And even Poole was like probably out of the top 10. Like I feel like his ceiling has been Bradley Beal. That's what everyone said. Bradley Beal, Bradley Beal, Bradley Beal. Let's go to the Bradley Beal draft. 2012. So, not a bad draft, honestly. We've got Bradley Beal. Obviously, Anthony Davis is going over him. No doubt about that. Dame's going over him. No questions asked. Beal's going over HB. He's going over Drummond. Draymond's going over Beal. What about Chris Middleton? No, Donovan Mitchell's an uber athlete. Beal or Chris Middleton? Wait, what? Why is this sad? I thought that was Joe Budden at first. Oh, 17 to nothing. That's actually hilarious. I'll just go. Oh man, this one's actually. Okay, Robert Sacre or Bradley Beal? No, I think I'd go Beal over Chris Middleton. So even in this redraft, Bradley Beal, who's been a great player, 30 points per game at one point in his career, even he's dropping from his original draft ranking to like 4th or 5th. You know, not a big drop, but AD stays above him. Dame, it goes above him. Draymond goes above him. And then maybe Chris Middleton. Maybe Chris Middleton. So yep, Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Dallas Mavericks legend. A franchise player versus a championship 2. Yeah, franchise player on a faltering franchise or championship number 2. I feel like that's a little bit harsh towards Bradley Beal. 30 points per game, 31 points per game. Damn, he was getting buckets. Interesting. All right, so we're okay. We got to slot him in. I'm feeling behind Eason. I'm feeling 13th overall. Actually, no, I'm feeling behind Jabari Smith. I'm feeling 14th. I'm feeling 14th overall. I'll take his shot creation over AJ Griffin. Although I think AJ Griffin's been great. Jabari Smith. It's just, man, it's hard. Mark Williams and Jalen Duren have both been great. Shane Sharp is a freak athlete. Like, freak athlete. I get, like, the athlete stuff, right? But an absolute freak. Jeremy Sohan, I like him a lot. Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray. Would you guys redo any of these orders? Is Walker Kessler too high? Should he be behind, like, Binath? Kessler above Chet? No, if Chet's healthy, he's going to be a freak. So 14th, that's the lottery though, right? There's nothing wrong with that, man. Getting a lottery level talent in the second round. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Hey, I do want to throw out there, I made a whole video about Walker Kessler way early in the season. Like, when he was still kind of getting minutes here and there, and I was like, holy shit, Walker Kessler is a fucking freak. And then he started to really play. Hold on a second. When Michael Jordan sells his shares of the Hornets, who will be labeled as the worst owner in the NBA? Cuban, Dolan, Fertitta, or Gores? It might be Dolan. I'm going to go Cuban, though, of course. Yeah, Dolan wins. I mean, Rockets fans hate Fertitta, too. So, I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about Tom Gores. I don't know, like, what Pistons fans think about him. What up, AJ? So last night we lost and did the most embarrassing thing of all time. What's that? Challenge the game? The loss itself really wasn't that embarrassing. Like, it's another one of these losses where, you know, you're 5 games over 500 or 10 games over 500, whatever. But yeah, the fact that you can't lose any of these games, it does suck. But again, it wasn't like a horrible loss. You got to get the size out of your head. So would you take Hardy over Jabari Smith? That feels so... Something doesn't feel right about that. I'm going to be honest with you. Something doesn't feel right about that. I feel like I'm even too low on Jabari Smith. You're not taking Hardy over Daniels? I get it. I do kind of get that. I'm too low on Jabari Smith, man. I'm moving Jabari Smith into the top 10, I think. I'll take him over the centers. I'll take him over the centers, I think. I think it also needs to be... It also needs to be mentioned that the Rockets are actually the worst possible place for Jabari Smith for several different reasons. I'm a believer in him. And this is I'm taking my stand. I really am. I'm taking my stand. I'll put him above Jaden even. No, I'll put him behind Jaden, but over Duran though. Like again, I think the Houston Rockets are a terrible fucking place for him right now. They get Harden. I wouldn't be surprised if Jabari Smith breaks out in a major way. Jay Williams saying that LeBron coming back will mess up Austin Reeves is insane. Please. God, please. End ESPN. Please. Duren being outside the top 10 doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right about Jalen Duren being outside the top 10. Shouldn't Williams be your stand? Which Williams? Mark Williams or Jalen Williams? I labeled this draft as one of the worst in recent memory because all the other drafts were star-studded as of late, and y'all called me crazy. Is Jalen Williams being second that big of a stand? Maybe he doesn't go second in a redraft. I don't know, though. I love his fucking game. Like, no, he goes second in a redraft, actually. I think Chet had an incredibly weird injury, right? Borderline freak injury that I think they could have played him this year if they wanted to, but it would just made more sense to sit him out the whole season, bulk him up, get him ready. Yeah, I agree. Paolo is a little bit underhyped. Like, he's number one easily. I don't even think it's a competition. Although I do think Jalen, like in a redraft, Paolo's number one easily, but Jalen Williams has maybe had a better season. I mean, yeah, Paolo. If Paolo figures out his shooting, it's over. It's over. I actually like this list. I like this list. So Hardy goes after Eason. And, you know, if you wanted to put, like, Dyson Daniels ahead of him, I get it. Defensively, that's going to be there forever. Easton should be higher. Over who? I could see Eason over Mark Williams. Although Mark Williams has been a stud. I can't put a guy who averages 3 points on 31 from deep above Hardy. Wait, who's that in reference to? Daniels. Well, Dyson Daniels doesn't play a lot. I actually feel very good about Hardy being 14th. Eason over both bigs. See, okay. Here's sort of my thinking. Eason is what, 22? About to turn 22 in a matter of like a month. Jalen Duren, youngest player in the NBA. Mark Williams, he's kind of old too, but his per 36 numbers are just fucking unreal. No, I'm standing tall here. This is, I think, what I'm going with. I just don't trust these small Lou Will type guards to pan out 99% of the time. I mean, him being 14th is fine. Like, we looked at the Clarkson redraft. That's about where he would have gone. It's about where Poole would have gone. Like, do we go look at the Lou Williams years? Go look at his draft. So close. 45th overall pick. Lou Will was. Already the 37th overall pick. 2005 draft. Holy shit. Let's try to remember some of these guys. All right. Are we taking Bogut over Lou Will? Super injury prone. Was really fucking good though for a time. Like his peak was higher than Lou Will for sure. Darren Williams. You go at the peak of Darren Williams though, easily. Chris Paul, obviously. Do you go at the peak of Bynum? I actually kind of think I go Bogut over Lou Will, to be 100% honest with you. You'd have to really consider Bynum. Yep, Charlie V, Mavs legend. Raymond Felton, Mavs legend. Do you go Danny Granger over Lou Will? Danny Granger's 2-year peak, obviously, surpasses anything Lou Will did. Man, if Danny Granger came around in today's NBA, holy shit. Yeah, I'm taking Danny Granger over Lou Will. Jarrett Jack. David Lee, you're probably taking over Lou Will, right? I mean, there was a stretch where David Lee, Mavs legend too, was really great. DJ Miles played 16 years, huh? You're taking Monte over Lou Will. You taking Ersan Ilyasova over Lou Will? No. So even in this draft, Lou Will's going probably around where we have Hardy right now. Maybe even a little bit higher than that. I wish it would show you like notable, I think on the Wikipedia pages it does, like notable undrafted free agents. 2005 NBA draft. I think Wikipedia shows you notable undrafted guys. Chuck Hayes. All right, no real notable. It's always interesting when these guys. All right, so what was this guy's story? Fran Vasquez, drafted 11th overall, never played a game in the NBA. Vasquez was selected 11th overall in the 2005 NBA draft. He made headlines when he announced that he would remain playing in the Spanish ACB League for at least the following season after signing with Acasfayu Girona. This came as a surprise to the Magic, who expected him to join Dwight Howard. Oh, God. Vasquez originally gave no indication that he would be returning to Europe after he was drafted. Damn, and they were trading him around. I'm a member. Oh yeah, people were throwing out memberships last night. Paul and Michael were just throwing them out like they were going out of style. This is such a middle of the day sicko thing to do. Yeah, I know, right? It really is. I always love doing shit like this though. Like, whatever happened to that guy? Like, kind of crazy though. You look at these drafts and it's like, Most guys get out there. For some reason, I just think second round picks usually, like, most of them don't even end up playing, but I guess that's not true. Most guys actually end up getting out there. I'm always interested in, like, the first round picks that never see the floor. Like, that's such a rare occurrence, I feel like. I mean, 11th overall pick never playing. I mean, that's such an Orlando Magic thing. All right, so yeah, Hardy goes 14th behind Eason, Mark Williams, Duran, Jabari Smith, Shane Sharp, Sohan, Ivy, Keegan Murray, Ben Math, Kessler, Chet, Jalen Williams, and Paolo. Yeah, Jokic was a second rounder. So our way too early 2022 NBA mock draft. Played out like this. Wait. Is 14th in the lottery? Yes, it is. Okay, 14th is in the lottery. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Sim lottery. Sim lottery. Sim lottery. Sim lottery. Sim lottery. Sim lottery. Oh. Oh. Welcome to the team, Jarris Walker. Welcome to the Dallas Mavericks. Welcome to the Dallas Mavericks. Jarris Walker, welcome aboard. I'm picking Jarris Walker, 4th overall, easily. I mean, built in a lab to be on this Mavericks team. The Thompson twins are nice, but 6'8", 220, built like a fucking truck. Defensive win shares, love it. We really don't need him to be doing any of this. Maybe this. Six blocks. 6 blocks in their game against Auburn. Matherin is winning Rookie of the Year, and your bottom of the list players should be swapped wholesale with the 5 through 9. What bottom of the list guys? These guys? Matherin's not winning Rookie of the Year. Jarris Walker, welcome aboard. There's no center. The best center is Derek Lively, who hasn't he been a huge like disappointment? You got some big forwards though, like I mean, obviously you have Victor. 7'5". What the fuck? That's unbelievable. I mean, the Thompson twins, 6'7". I just like Jarris Walker a lot. What is this Cam Whitmore? Draft age, steals. Derek Lively is a 7'1" Maxi Kleba. You know, if that guy's grabbing rebounds, that's not bad. Defensive rebounds being a minus for you as a 7'1" guy, I don't like. Oh man, these rebound numbers need to be higher. Yeah, if the Mavericks don't win their next 3 games, it's Jover for the playoff spot at least. It's not Jover for the play-in spot. So our way too early 2022 NBA mock draft played out like this. I got to make sure this is right because I will get flamed on Twitter otherwise. Number 1, Paolo Boncaro. Number 2, Jalen Williams. Number 3, Chet Holmgren. Number 4, Walker Kessler. Number 5, Benedict Mathurin. 6, Keegan Murray. 7, Jaden Ivey. I think I have to drop Kessler maybe. If Kessler on a good team, nobody even know who he is. Wait, what does that even mean? I'm way too low on Jabari Smith Jr., man. I just know it. Mavs at plus 3,600 odds? No thanks. These are per 36 numbers. I just like doing per 36 numbers with the rookies. You bet $500 on the Mavs? Dude, you should have just donated that to me. You should have just donated that to me, man. Per 75 is better. Yeah, it is, but that wasn't an option on the NBA thing I was looking at. So why is it fair that Shaden Sharp can be ahead of Jabari Smith Jr. based off of intangibles? Because he's a freak? Okay, that's fair. All right, but okay. It's Kessler top 4 feels high, though. But does it really, though? Is J-Dub at 2 is definitely a reach. Like, okay, does Ivy go a little bit higher? Or maybe J-Dub goes 3rd and Chet goes 2nd now. Kessler's overrated, has no potential to be better than Mathurin in the long run. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, Ben Math is a shot creator and a scorer. Maybe that's a teeny tiny bit more valuable than Kessler. Okay, from what we've seen from these rookies so far, the idea of Chet is probably number 2, right? Potential is fun. Kessler's floor to impact games is way higher. That's true too. That's very true. That's a great point. That's a great point. That almost makes me want to put Sohan higher. See, I'm giving Ivy a pass because he's a freak athlete. He's like RJ's not a good, RJ's a bad athlete. Like that's what's fucking RJ over. But Ivy's a great athlete. And he's in an unfair situation for any rookie. Being the focal point of an offense, that's terrible. At this juncture. Okay, so then would you put Sohan in front of Ivy? Because Sohan's going to impact games for 20 years. I'm a believer in Ivy. I'm going to keep him there. Are we cool with Keegan being 6th? Because he's, right now, as it stands, there's no, oh, well, if he does this, he already is a legitimate contributor to a good winning team. Keegan is low. Who would you have Keegan above? You'd have Keegan above Kessler. Huh. Let's talk about it. A wing who can shoot the 3, defend pretty well, versus like a legit anchor of the defense big, who is probably like is who he is. Right? Yeah, Kessler's defense for a rookie is freakish. It actually is. I'm going to keep him right here. A redraft. Like, do you think GMs are going J-Dub 2nd overall? Or are they going like, we still want Chet? I think J-Dub's ceiling is kind of high, though, actually. You think Chet drops? See, I don't think anybody below Chet's done enough for him to drop, truthfully. I think GMs would still be like enamored by the potential of him. It's honestly somewhat similar to the Shaden Sharp, Jaden Hardy thing, where it's like Hardy went to the G League and played and struggled, and that tanked his draft stock. Where Sharp didn't play at all and still went. Was it 7th overall in the draft? Like if Hardy didn't play at all, where would he have gone in the draft? We haven't seen Chet at all. So is it unfair putting him ahead of some of these guys? Maybe, but We just straight up have no clue. But again, though, like, see, it's not like any of these guys below him have done enough to be like, oh, I'm taking him over Chet. Because Chet's still the 7'2" or whatever the fuck he is. Freak. Can shoot threes, can create for himself, and is an insane shot blocker. Like, I mean, he was like a top 5 guy damn near. Like in really early mock drafts. We saw Chet getting moved by bigs in summer league and college. We also saw Chet like dominate Jalen Duren in the tournament. And Jalen Duren's just a huge human being. Matherin is clearly the long-term best from this draft class. I'm honestly thinking about putting Ben Math ahead of Kessler. I'm seriously considering it. This is hard. You don't like it? I mean, averaging nearly 17 points per game as a rookie is hard to do. Okay. His shooting numbers will go up. His finishing will become better. Yeah, I mean, being pre-injury Oladipo would be great. Whereas Kessler, already a premier defensive player. Like, already elite. $21 years old. Gonna turn 22 in the summer. Okay, I'm gonna take Ben Math over Kessler. Just think this is a little bit of a higher ceiling. Still though, Kessler going top 5 now. The majority of GMs in the league would take Kessler over Ben Math. I don't know. It depends on the team. I don't think like a bottom tier team would. I don't know though. I agree. Jabari Smith would go way higher on a different team. I agree 100%. I'm actually really going back and forth on this one. You know what? I'm going back to exactly where I was. Kessler doing this as a rookie is freakish. It just is. Like it shouldn't. I mean, dominating games. He just a few nights ago, he absolutely dominated Sabonis in that Jazz win over the Kings. Just dominated them. Ben Math has that dog in him. That's really like the big thing for me. Benedict Matherin's a great rookie, but he's got that dog in him in a way I don't think other guys do. You know? I don't know if there's anybody else in this draft class who has that dog in him the way that Ben Math does. He'll talk shit. But there's the off ball, the on ball. Benedict Matherin's a good player. Time to hit send. Listen, I think this is too high for Sharp. But I get everyone loves him to death. I get it. Ivy's definitely got some dog in him. Yeah, OKC is just stupid. I still think there's a world where Chet goes second, by the way. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm muting this the moment I hit send, by the way. We managed to get Hardy in the lotto. Fuck. Listen, Ben Math being top 5 is perfectly fine. Like, Paolo is a superstar in the making. J-Dub, despite the fact that Paolo is a legit superstar in the making, J-Dub's probably having the best season amongst rookies, or at least it's really close. Chet is still a freak. Kessler is legitimately anchoring a defense as a rookie. And then Ben Math being 5th. There's nothing wrong with that. Get rid of Walker. Walker Kessler? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Jabari's got too much upside. I don't know about those two bigs ahead of Hardy and Tari. Mark Williams is really good. And so is Duran. Fuck. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Everyone knows who Kessler is. All right, well, do we move any of the bigs? I mean, do we move the bigs around? Maybe Eason over Williams? Can we eventually review the best and worst trades of the last 3 years? Yeah, that would be fun. Huh. Yeah. I'm going to put Eason above Mark Williams. Because I do, since Nick Richards got that extension, I have seen people say he's better than. See, Jabari, I agree, Jabari should be a little bit higher. But then I look at it and I'm like, who exactly am I going higher over him? I don't think Eason would be below. I really don't think Eason would be below Hardy. Smith cannot go higher. This is absolutely the highest that we can go with him. Johnny Davis. Hey, he had that layup a couple nights ago. I think you'd be surprised. Mark Williams has been really fucking good, man. Yeah, all right. Surprised Baldwin's gotten a run with the Warriors. He's been all right anytime he has played. PBJ. So no Nimhard. No AJ Griffin. I feel like that might be the biggest pushback. TBH. Like AJ Griffin would be... Do I maybe move Hardy up to 13 and then get AJ Griffin in here instead of Mark Williams? Or am I just overthinking this completely at this point? Can't rock with Christian Brown eraser. I like Christian Brown, but just keep it. All right, let me find some pictures to tweet out. Walker, Kessler, Jalen Williams. Is there a picture of those two together? No, there's not. All right, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm blaming you guys if I get shit on for this. Like, nothing pisses off a fan base more than shitting on or not falling in love with their rookie. What? How's Christian Coloco not on here? I'm a big believer in Jalen Williams. If I had any nuts at all, I'd put him first. Oh, God. I have a trillion tabs open. All right, here. Hold on. You know how Mavs fans feel when you criticize Hardy? People go mental over rookies? Yeah, they really do. That is true too. You're worried that you're gonna be like, hey, yeah, like Shaden Sharp should be higher. Yeah, but he's just a freak athlete right now. I'm trying to find a picture of Mark Williams, but it's just a fucking billiards player. Oh my God. My computer's so fucked. Hey, I did order a a new water cooler that I'm installing myself once it gets here. So that's going to be fun and potentially terrifying. And hopefully that'll save my computer. If not, we are in danger. Okay, tweet. Tweet. Tweet immediately. Scroll down. Scroll down. Boom. Boom. Mute this conversation. All right. All right. I've been live way longer than I was initially wanting to. Classic. You're reviewing these tweets like I was reviewing my damn exams back in school. Now you understand why it takes so long for videos to come out sometimes. It's actually a legit problem I have. All right, guys. All right, guys. All right, guys. Mavericks play tomorrow night against the Hornets. I'll be live then. Zeke eyeing Eagles, Jets, and Bengals. Don't fucking do it, Zeke. Go to the Bengals and get a Super Bowl, okay? Do not do it. Don't even think about it. Mavs play tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be live at 7:15. Maybe. My computer's been so bad lately that it's like... it makes me kind of just want to like... Wait, the water cooler's supposed to get here on Monday. And I thought about not streaming this weekend. Just because it's been so bad. And I'm just assuming and hoping that that's going to be the fix. But I guess you never know. Anyways, thank you guys for coming out. All the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Thursday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. Thank you. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. We stream pretty much every single day of the week. Donations, members, you guys know I love you very much. You never have to do that, but it helps me out. It makes me feel so good. Helps me out tremendously. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Wish me luck in my softball game. Goodbye.